and we'll see if that wobble's gone. If it is, happy days. If it's not, it's not. I can feel it already. So, there she goes. Well, welcome back to another episode, guys. Where we left off last time, we were just leaving 40 Mile, so we'll pick it up from there. I had to cut that episode short because on this episode, the episode goes completely sideways. Not where we wanted it to go, not how we wanted it to end, but stick around and see what happens.
Yes.
So, as per normal, we've driven, I don't know, 10-15 minutes down the road, and the first kid needs to go to the toilet. But I don't mind, because after I've driven about 10 kilometres, I like to stop, walk around the truck, make sure nothing's loose, especially with the boat up top and stuff on the roof rack. So Jade will go in, let Lani go to the toilet, and she'll check inside the caravan to make sure nothing's loose, and I'll do my walk around. So my little walk around consists of checking the straps for the boat, making sure that's alright, checking Lani's bike, checking the kids' bikes, they're all good. I like to do a bit of gum treeing, kicking some tyres, making sure they're all good, make sure the panels are closed, make sure my boat trailer's still on. That's all good. I check under, I check up, check all these little boxes, close anything that's not done. Check the trailer plugs, that's another big one. Make sure we've got a green light on the ESC. Jockey wheel, and then just walk around and have a check. And that's all I do. So we thought we'd come out to the Fortescue River mouth, just south of where we were at 40 Mile. And as we're driving in, there's a huge mine site, Cape Preston mine site. And you get to drive through the middle of it all and check it out. Trucks driving either side of us, there's mine roads, make sure there's no trucks coming. But yeah, it's well signposted anyway. It keeps telling you which way to go and which way not to go. But yeah, all the ROM pads out here are massive. It's huge. It's quite good. If you've never worked on a mine site, take this drive out here and have a look, see what happens out here. Out at the river mouth, Fortescue River mouth. A couple of cars there with boat trailers. So we're just going to go for a walk down to there's a little boat ramp thing here. Go and check that out. Looks like the tide's rushing in, bringing all the dirt and stuff with it. I'd love to know what they catch out here. Check it out. It's a little boat ramp that someone's made. Just can't help but feel that there's crocodiles in these waters. Obviously south of Karratha, pretty slim, but just looks very crocodile-ish. Lots of oysters on the rocks that have been pilvaged. Look at that. Obviously lots of people camp here and grab them all. But we're just going to try and find the campsite and we'll go for a bit of a drive and see what we can see.
Down on the floor, I don't know what for. Feels like I'm gonna lose. Silence takes a hold. I can't let it go. Chain up, no one knows. But I won't let the stormy seas throw me in open water. Let me have my peace and leave me till tomorrow. Wind into my sail, away from things I let go. Floating on the waves, we go bottoms up, we go all the way. When you're feeling down, push the pain away. We go bottoms up, we go all the way. And face the another day, we go bottoms up. Shaking through my car, left me in the cold.
Getting a little bit bogged. Derek's going to let the tyres down.
Alright, so we've just come down this little sandy track to head towards the beach, and I've had my tyres pumped up from road pressure. That's about 75 psi. So I've just let them down to 30 all the way through, not on the Caravan as yet. If I don't get out now, I'll chuck a set of max tracks underneath the car and try and get out with that. If I don't get out then, I'll lower the tyres down. See how we go. Drive these bad boys. Hopefully these work and get us out. It's too hot to be digging.
I think we'll unhitch and winch before we start digging.
A good little tip for you. I was going forward and I was spinning. Now, if you just stop there, it's really hard to dig in. So I reversed back a little bit, and then I had the sand that was dug up by the tyres. I just had to dig that out and stick the max tracks under there.
Well, he's just run the cameraman down, and I've got to go back and get the max tracks now.
Look at, there's no bush here.
All right.
I was like, surely she's going to step to the side. I can't stop. And you just kept running in front of me. You're a twit.
I didn't want to run in the bushes.
Now, where are those max tracks?
I know.
Oh, no.
Right, so we don't know where the max tracks are. Well, we've just found one.
I got one.
But we found some water on the ground. So that's going to be one.
That's why you always leave the cables on it, so the cables stick out the side and you know where they are, but I bloody forgot again.
Bloody idiot.
Max Tracks to the rescue. 2 sand trips, 2 Max Tracks rescues. Alright, now the front ones. Bloody sand's hot. Or were they the front ones?
Why is there so much water there?
Yes! That's hot.
See, my dad taught me that. Bit of bush mechanics for you.
What?
See the water on the ground?
Good work, Robbie.
Tell you what, I'm looking forward to sitting inside that aircon. It's about 40 degrees.
All right. Now we're going to get back out.
We're not coming back down this road. Thank God for Max Tracks. So all that to check out this view. It's pretty beautiful. It's just really windy, that's all. Look, there's been lots of little lizards running around here. You see all the tracks? My dad taught me that too. Love those colours, the blue ocean and the red. Islands over there. Hear that wind. I reckon if it wasn't this windy, the flies would be 100 times worse. And we've also heard the sandflies here are really, really bad. So we're not going to stay here tonight. We're just exploring for the day.
Things I let go, floating on the waves. We go bottoms up, we go all the way. When you're feeling down, push the pain away. We go bottoms up, we go all the way. And face another day. We go bottoms up. We go bottoms up.
Well, it's that time now. We got out of the bog, we're at the asphalt again, and I've got to pump my tyres up. So as you can see, they're down a little bit. So let's pump them. So I keep all my airing up stuff where it's easily accessible. So I've just used this, that's why it's not in its bag. But I've got the Indeflate there, and then I've got this cool little bag. So I just pull this bag out, and we picked these up in Perth, Camper's Choice. They make cool little bags, clear tops, and this is all my airing up gear. So everything in this tray has its own little bag. So they're Max Track straps and 12 volt pump. Then I've got all nuts and bolts and stuff like that. This makes my life a little bit easier if everything's easily accessible and I can find it. So I've got the airbag out now. I'll turn the air pump on and start pumping up some tyres. Jade's going crazy. So while I'm pumping the tyres up, the kids will get out. Jade will make some lunch for everyone. Aircon can go on in the caravan so everyone's comfortable, and hopefully by the time I finish, my lunch is ready and I get to sit in the aircon and have some yummy lunch. But for now, I've got the indeflate that's set up, going to each of the rear tyres. Got the hose connected in. You can hear the little ARB pump going, and I've got the ARB air pump. I just chuck a cable tie around it so that I don't have to stand here and hold it all the time. So let's get these tyres pumped up and get the hell out of here to our next campsite. How good's this? So I'm sitting in my car in the aircon. Everyone else is in the caravan in the aircon, and I'm pumping my tyres up still. So the cable tie's on the back, squeezing it up, and I just get to sit here instead of sitting out in the sun pumping my tyres up, and I just read the tyre pressures on the screen. So at the moment the rears are on 60, and I just got to pump the front ones up. But how good's that? Instead of sitting out there holding on to it, it does it all for me. Alright, so that's the rears done. Now I've just set it up to the front. I've got the inflator, the end deflator, one and two. And well, I might as well come back to my seat and see what the tyre pressures are doing. 80 in the rear, and we'll pump the front ones up. Too easy. Yeah, a bit of repairs on the go. So what happens is that this airbag here, it's only held on by one U-bolt, and when we got bogged and the rear diff was up and down like that, it's twisted. So rather than destroying my airbag, I've got to fix it up now and see what we can come up with along the way.
And it's 44 degrees. So that ground he's laying on is stinking hot. He can pump up the airbag with his remote control on his phone.
So I can't find any air leaks at all. My initial thought was that the air compressor had just shot a hose out and it was just blowing air, but I can't find any air leaks anywhere. So what I'm thinking is maybe the compressor shut itself. Brand new ARB compressor. So we're gonna have to turn around and go back to Karratha. They've got an ARB store there, and see if we can't claim it under warranty or get a new one or something like that. So another little hold up on our trip, but that's life living on the road, baby.
To Karratha we go.
Alright, so since we've been bogged, we've the air compressor shit itself, so we're going to head back to Karratha to see ARB about that. But I've been getting a wicked death wobble through the whole car, so the whole car's like wobbling like crazy. So I've driven, I've checked. Now before I left, I got the car serviced, and I asked them, it was the very first service that the car ever got, so I asked them to make sure all the bolts were tight, everything was done properly. Now when I got the car back, I'd heard a few bad stories about these mechanics after the fact. I'm not going to name names, but I jumped underneath my car and I checked it myself, and I found 8 loose bolts. Now they were the U-bolts that hold the leaf spring together. They're the small ones. I've got two lots of U-bolts on each side. The small ones were loose, so I tightened them up, went back there, they give me my money back, and they did another full check over the car. Now, all they've done is just gone through and put marks on the bolts, the washers, and whatever it's joined to say that that's tight, that's where it's gone. And I've been getting a wicked death wobble ever since we just got bogged. And we've been driving along the highway, the air compressor shit itself, and
So you've had to tighten up.
I had to tighten up all the bolts again, and I'm hoping that that's the problem of the death wobbles. So
it's all right, guys. He's really hot.
Let's go. So we've just taken off. I've still got a wicked death wobble. We're going to limp it back to Karratha and see what the problem is there. Hopefully I can get it into a mechanic or something. Ring up Harrison's, who I brought the truck from. But either way, it's not good. So let's see how we go.
So we've just pulled into ARB in Karratha, and the boys are straight onto it. They've come out and helped us out. So fingers crossed they can sort it out.
So, I don't know if you can see it, but that's the airline coming out of the compressor. It's, if you can have a look at that, it's nice and thick all down the bottom, and up the top it's like half the thickness. And it looks like it's just blown out, and that's why I've got no air pressure. So the air compressor was working, it was just the airline. So ARB are here, and they're going to replace a little bit of the hose for us. So sweet, that's one thing solved. Let's go to the next one. Alright, so we've just hit ARB and they've fixed up our air compressor. I've got 50 psi back in my airbags. So this is going to be a test. I'm going to take it for a drive along the road here. That's 100 kilometers an hour, and we'll see if that wobble's gone. If it is, happy days. If it's not, well, it's not. I can feel it already. So we've got a bit of a problem here. So we're going to have to send it to the mechanics to get it sorted. I can feel it already. Righto guys, so we've made it back to Karratha. We limped it home. I've done further inspections, and we've done a uni joint that connects into the rear diff. So I've got about 4 to 5 mil of movement up and down. So just got to get in contact with the guys that sold me the truck and see if we can get one sorted. But we're going to be parked up in Karratha for a while now. I've since found out that there is a recall on some of the F350 6.7 litre Power Stroke diesels, that the rear diff housing, there was a bad batch that come out. And of course I was the lucky one that happened to get one with a bad batch. So the diff housing has absolutely, it's collapsed where the suspension, the leaf springs join into the diff housing with where the rear springs are, and it's created the diff to rock back. And as I was driving it, which was causing the shuddering because the pinion angle was different, the uni joints flogged out, and yeah, the diff housing's crushed. So a couple of little things there. It's all covered by a warranty. And so far, so it's about 3 or 4 days after the fact now, and Harrison's have been fantastic. They've organised NRMA have organised the car and the van to be towed back to Perth. Unfortunately, it's where the repair has to get done. We're trying to sort out a diff housing to come from the States, or potentially repair this one. So that's my leaf springs, and that's where it's bolted to the diff housing. And that's what's causing the issue, is this whole tube here has been squashed down, which has rocked the pinion back, which I'll show you. But yeah, it's hard to get a decent angle, so much stuff in the way. Alrighty, so the van, she's all packed up, she's ready to go, and the big rig, she's ready to go as well. So the tow truck driver said he's about 10 minutes away. So yeah, today's the day. Here he is now. Alright, so the trailer's hooked up now. Caravan's on. Truck, trailer, everything's good to go. Off she goes. Well, that's the last we'll see of it until we get to Perth. So I just want to pick up. So obviously the truck's just left, you've just seen that. Factory recall of the diff, and I just want to say the guys at Harrison F Trucks, we're not affiliated, so don't think we are, but they've gone above and beyond. It's all part of the package that we brought the car with, and I know that's what you pay for it for. But also the diff, so it's not easy just having a diff laying around for a brand new Ford F350. Once that arrives, it'll be sent over to either straight to Perth or from Melbourne to Perth, and yeah, the guys in Perth, they will install it. So I'll do a full vid there of getting it installed and whatnot. But yeah, it's a little bit heartbreaking to see your brand new car up on the truck like that, but you know, these things happen. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's a little bit embarrassing when you spend all that money and you showcase it on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and then to see it drive off on the back of a truck. No doubt there'll be some comments, but that's why we put ourselves out there, and yeah, we'll be back bigger and better, and we'll get the truck fixed. So I think that'll wrap this one up. So we'll see you on the next one. Hopefully brighter things ahead. Ciao.